We are going to go ahead and get started. This is our first session, our welcome plenary session. Thank you all for being here. So we want to talk a little bit about why we chose both the structure and the title of this conference. So for obvious reasons, we were unable to have our annual in-person week-long OICA conference this year. So we essentially decided on a series of live fundamental trainings to ensure that you all have the skills that you need to be able to meet your participants' needs faithfully and effectively. So, we really want to be mindful of Zoom fatigue and all of that. I know 12 sessions might sound like a lot, but we have been very intentional about ensuring that we have only 5 weeks where there's live sessions. And usually on those weeks, there's no more than 3 live trainings that we will ask you to come to, all of which will be under 2 hours. So that is essentially the structure. We have a lot of really awesome trainers coming in that we're super excited to share with you all. We have our youth-led trauma-informed care, which is going to be, the training will be led by our HopeWorks youth healing team. So they're going to come in and give you what's what on how to effectively utilize trauma-informed care practices in practice. And that promises to be an amazing one. Our motivational interviewing series will be with our own Sean Smith. For those veterans who have been with us for some time, you will recognize him. He's fantastic. We were really happy to snag him. We'll have leadership panels with some of our OIC executives, and a lot of us from the OICA team will be coming through to share our expertise with you in our respective areas. So we're really excited. We also have, like I said, we're integrating the self-care piece, right? So we'll have self-care specials, we're calling them. So on the bye weeks when you have no trainings on the calendar, we will have optional offerings. The first of which will be a family scavenger hunt, and that'll be hosted by Course Horse. So they'll be coming in, this will be on 11/9 next Monday, but we're going to make sure that after every session, we end it with a slide that has all the details for how to register and how to access the session coming up. So hopefully that helps you guys keep track, because I know it is a lot to keep track of. But that'll be our first self-care special, and we hope that you join us with your family. We know that kids are home these days, even if they're doing some sort of hybrid schooling, they might be around, and we would love to have everybody join us for that. We'll also have a cooking special and a fitness class as well. And we're really excited about the offerings that we've put together for you all, and we hope you guys are too. And a little bit more about the theme of the conference itself. People, purpose, passion. I think together, as we come together in community, I can feel it, that we are such a powerful collective of people united by a common purpose and driven through whatever obstacles may come by our passions, our individual passions, right, that bring us here. We are going to ask our President and CEO, James Haynes, to join us for some more opening remarks.
So thank you for the introduction, Kai, and thank you, Kate, for co-hosting. And I don't have a lot of things that I wanted to share with this group, but what I will say is that welcome, welcome, and welcome. I know that there are some veterans on the line, and there are not a lot of new folks on the line, and I'm just excited about the prospects of what we all do together. So the conference of people, purpose, and passion, nobody asked me what I thought about, so let me give you something really quickly, is that I see myself as a bit of a transformer, and I see the work that you are doing as transforming the lives of one person at a time on a day-to-day basis. So I'm really proud to be able to serve with you, as well as to serve with the folks, my team at the national office. And really the thing that I want to continue to stress is that the folks on this conference you're the VIPs of what we do. You're the very important people that make this work, and that this work is done as a result of the case managers and employment specialists and the data folks, is that everything you do matters. And if you think that that's not the case, then please shout out, because it takes a team of folks to do what we do. I once said at a press conference when we first started early on in the process, and some of those of you who were around, Jason, you were around, Patty and Mike, you guys were around, you know, we talked about this being a bit of a village in terms of, if you think about raising kids as an example, is that it takes a lot. It takes a village to be able to raise a child. Kate talked about her son and 21-year-old, and I'm sure that she's not the only person as part of this group that have some folks in their families that they're concerned about. I have brothers, I have nephews and nieces that are of that age, and I'm always concerned about them when they're out and about. But having said that, is that what I will say to you about what you're going to experience for the balance of the week is that this team at the national office has really worked hard of making a huge pivot from what we did a year ago. And many of you were here a year ago. And I see some of those faces, Fred, Jay, and some other folks that were here last year when we were here in Philadelphia. And we had that time together where we could actually experience and enjoy one another. And while it's going to be different this year, it's not going to be any less important for us to continue to work with each other in terms of the work that we do. So what I will also say to you is that over the period of about 5 years, organizationally, we come a really long way. And I know that Jonathan and Michael are going to get into some of the detail, but you know, we started with 3. First, we started with South Florida because there was 1. Then we went to 3. And now we're up over 10, or somebody has told me recently that it's in the 12 category in terms of number of affiliates that are doing this work. So we've had an extraordinary ride over the last several years. And I also want to give a big shout out to Jeffrey Woodyard, who's on the line, and 40 years of doing the work that you care about, and you get up every day and something is different. And Jeff said something that really resonated with me. And it doesn't mean that he doesn't say things all the time that resonate with me, but you know, I've been to your shop in Tri-County, and I know the excitement associated with seeing people graduate and go on to do things in their lives that many of them thought that they couldn't do. But what OIC does is that it provides you with an opportunity to help yourself, and we help you in that process, because when people are ready, we're there for them. As I will continue to go on in terms of the challenge, I challenge you over the week to really stay engaged. As you actually work through the coursework over the next several weeks, I might add, it's important that you stay engaged. The team has set up sessions where you can do self-care. For those of you who were around last year when Dr. Mitchell gave the keynote address, you know, he called you guys hope dealers. He used that term, and I use that term often because what you're providing is a level of hope for people when in fact they can't quite figure out what it looks like next for them. And you open those doors for them, and they trust what you do with them. And that's a big part of what you do. So as you think about what happens over the next 5 weeks or so, they've broken it down into bite-sized chunks so that you don't have Zoom fatigue. If you're like most of us, we spend a fair amount of time on Zoom, but if you break it up, you can actually do a pretty good job of actually making sure that people stay engaged. The other thing that I will ask you to do is that ask your questions. If there are concerns that you might have, speak up, because this is the group that you want to speak up about. When our program started some 5 years ago that we adopted from South Florida, which we're grateful for, is that we didn't know a lot about this space, but boy, have we learned in that period of time. Not only have we learned, if you think about what's happened over the last 3 years, we are the only intermediary group that has gotten 2 grants as an intermediary. when others have gotten one. Think about that for a moment. We've gotten two, and 2 out of the last 3 years, we've gotten 2 grants, and we've been the only intermediary group to be able to do that. That speaks volumes about not only the staff at the national office, but it speaks volumes about you who are doing this work, and that the Department of Labor recognizes the work that you do. So everything that we do is about how we ensure that you get what you need in terms of being able to support the people that you're going to put into your program and subsequently help them to put their lives back on track again. So I will close with this, is that if there's something out there that we need to modify or we need to adopt, this is the opportunity for you to challenge kind of where we're going. Got a lot of new faces, which is beautiful. When I looked at the gallery shot of the 2 pages of people that were represented, this is an opportunity for us to learn from each other. And just because you've been around the block for a minute, it doesn't mean that you can't learn from those that have just started working for the organization. So, and I will say to those that have started working for the organization, and many of the execs know that this is kind of how we work, is that you don't have a monopoly on brain power in this organization. If you got something that you want to provide, please provide it, because this is the place. We want to make sure that we don't leave any good ideas behind. And just because you've been here for 2 weeks or 30 years, is that it's incumbent upon you to tell us about what you think and about how we're managing this program, because see, this is your program and we're here to help you deliver your commitments. So with that in mind, I'm going to stop talking for a minute, because I promised my team that I wouldn't take my entire 30 minutes, but you'll see me later on as the event unfolds over the next several weeks. But welcome. I'm looking forward to working with you. It won't always be virtual. And in many cases, when we're able to travel again, is that I will find my way out to visit many of you. One last thing. I want to say to you that I am so proud of the work that the OIC family has done regarding voter registration and getting people out to the polls. Some of the work and some of the things that you did were just inspiring to me, as well as to the organization. Ruben Blackwell was kind enough to send me a video last night where Rocky Mount was noted with a marching band. In terms of, I found that to be a novel approach. I know that they're doing fine work in South Florida and other places around the country. So really, can't thank you enough for the work that you did around getting out to vote, as well as taking people back and forth to the polls. I sent out a note to the organization this morning, which you might not have gotten it from your leadership, but it talks about, irregardless as to who will eventually become the president of this country, the reality of the matter is that there are millions of people who are beginning to lose their homes. There are millions of folks that go hungry on a day-to-day basis. And there are millions of children or kids in this country that are falling behind in terms of the educational gap. And of course, we have a number of returning citizens that are rolling back into our society, into our communities. So OIC at this juncture has never been more needed than it is right now. And again, irregardless as to who sits in the White House, people are hurting. And what we've done as an organization, and we've been there to help guide people throughout that journey. So you're part of an organization, for those of you who are new, that really we will do the work that is required to help people get themselves back on their feet. So with that in mind, I look forward to hearing more about your conference. And don't forget, I'm sure that somebody's going to make this plug about using the app to post information about your experiences over the course of the conference. So I'll stop now. And Kaya or Kate, if anybody had any quick questions for me, I'm happy to oblige. So I'll stop talking now.
Yeah, my question is, I guess, more so just about in terms of doing the work, but like overcoming some of the obstacles that comes with doing this work. Like, how do you stay, I guess, motivated and just stay committed to the bigger cause, even when you get discouraged at times?
Yeah, listen, thank you for your question. And that's a great one, because there's an immense amount of pressure on many of you who are out there on the front lines. And I'll tell you, I don't know about others, but I will tell you what works for me is that there are times when I can't tell you how many calls that I've been on lately where I've had meetings with, most recently I had a meeting with the Department of Commerce. And part of that discussion was with 70 clergy from around the country. And what I found so encouraging, so incredibly encouraging, when I spoke and gave them an idea about what we do as an organization and reminding them that albeit we've been around for over 50 years, that organization, that we have kept relevant and we've kept current, and that we're a different organization. And what helps me is that there was a woman that responded to what I had to say, and here's her take. She said, you know, I got my start in OIC as a young person in a youth program. And her point is that she said the training that I got as a youth helped to at least guide me, and it helped me to become the person that I am today. So when I say to you is that we get that a lot, and that's a portion of, that's not the only thing that keeps me going, but it's so encouraging to be able to hear people talk about their experiences with OIC and how they got their start. Many people that I spend time with, people that were responsible for passing out some of the DOL grants. Two of them that were in high-ranking positions pulled me aside and said, you know, this is where I got my start. I got my start with OIC. So that's encouraging to me. And I think that Jeffrey said it well too. He said, you know, when you have someone that has gotten their credentials and they're excited about the prospects of what life has to offer because of what you've done for them or to help them to do, is extraordinarily important. I'll give you one more example because I'm pretty good about these examples. I was in Minneapolis a few years ago, and I remember a young woman who had just finished a significant training course. She was so moved by being accepted and getting a job that she brought her mother. She brought her mother back to Summit Academy OIC so that she could actually meet the staff, because she wanted her mother to see the people that influenced her life and allowed her the opportunity to get a job. So that's what keeps me going. I hope that helps.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Kai, I'm going to turn it back over to you and Kate, and I thank you for the work that you guys are doing in terms of putting this together. I know that this has not been easy. I hope you saw my note that I sent you this morning. And I'm excited about what you're doing. And I know this team is going to do great work because I'm really counting on it. And this is a very different time for us. You know, we're trying to do this virtually. So I'm looking forward to any creative solutions that you come up with where we can actually provide services to our clients, because that's the reason why we do this work. With that, Kaya, I'm going to step aside.
Thank you, James. Definitely want to shout out the chat right now. Kate just helpfully put in the instructions to download our app. We are so bummed that we can't actually be with you guys in person again this year, but to make up for it, we're trying to create some virtual spaces where we can all interact, share pictures, share comments. The app is actually incredible. Frankie has amazingly put it together for all of us, and it has our schedule of events, registration links. It actually even has like stars under each course so that you can rate your experience. We would love to have that feedback. But really, we want to just create this sense of community in the only ways that we can, which is these various virtual spaces. So we do ask that if you have space in your phone, I know I had to create some myself, but if you have some space in your phone to upload or download rather the app, we would love to get you guys on there, get some dialogue going, either about these sessions or completely unrelated. I think I went ahead and posted a voting selfie yesterday, so it could really be anything. Just wanted to get the ball rolling with that. Without further ado, I think we're going to start introducing ourselves to you. In this section, please feel free to shout out any questions you have. We're going to go through each of our teams and quickly just share with you what our role is in terms of supporting you and supporting your successful programs there on the ground. We'll start with our program team, which consists of myself and Kate. We like to go by K and K. We are missing our other fearless leader, Letitia Crippen. She is currently on leave, but I think she'll be back in the next couple weeks, actually. So we're very excited to re-welcome her as well. She will be managing the YARP program. So everyone on here that will be working in the YARP program, Letitia will be your go-to person. I will be remaining on the 3Y grant, but I definitely plan on assisting with YARP in many ways. So you'll be hearing from me too, all of you in YARP. And Kate will be transitioning, as she said, to the Pathway Home pre-release manager position, but she'll still be around. We make ourselves very available and pride ourselves on our responsivity to any needs that you guys may have there on the ground. So we are basically like your go-to collaborator partners in crime, and we welcome any and all questions, concerns, and we, again, pride ourselves on the fact that we will always get back to you with answers. If we don't have them, we know somebody that does. So that is basically our role. We work predominantly with the program managers at the sites, but we definitely extend our supports to everyone on the team. And I know a lot of people on this call could speak to that, but we look forward to continuing to provide these trainings through the conference and even beyond. We have frontline trainings. We try to do it on a monthly basis of relevant topics, and we're always looking to hear from you guys too about the topics that you want to delve into to make sure it stays relevant, because you guys are the experts on the ground, and we just try to elevate your best practices and share it, make sure it's shared across the network. So that's basically our role. We will also be hiring 2 new people forthcoming, so they're not with us yet, but we put our +2 there to indicate you guys might be meeting new people sometime soon. Next up, we have our quality assurance team, Mike and Jonathan.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Mike Jackowitz. I'm the Director of Quality Assurance. Jonathan Krieger is Quality Assurance Manager. Jonathan and myself make up the Quality Assurance team. We're the ones who do program monitoring, policies and procedures, budget modifications, and compliance alerts. Jonathan, is there anything like that?
No, just that by the picture, you can tell that I'm the fun one. So if you have any questions about your grant or about the requirements, or if something is allowable, you'll be reaching out to us through your program managers, and we're honestly just here to help increase whatever efficiencies we can and distribute best practices, so there aren't any unnecessary barriers in your all's way, because the work is already hard enough.
Thank you, Jonathan. Next up, we have our measurement and evaluation team, Patty and Frankie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Patty Olot. I'm the Director of Evaluation and Measurement. It's great to see so many familiar faces, and I also look forward to getting to know those of you who are new. Welcome aboard. So Frankie and I are a team at this point. We're still looking to add 1 more person to our team to replace Cass, who some of you know has moved on to other opportunities. Our job is to work with you around the documentation of the work that you're doing in terms of data collection and reporting, so that you get credit for all of the great work that we know that you're doing, and that we are able to tell our story to the Department of Labor. So we work with you around data systems primarily, data quality, and ensuring that our reporting is accurate as well as timely. Frankie, did you want to add anything?
Just looking forward to working with all the new people that we have on board, and continuing to work with everybody who's been doing such a great job getting their data all cleaned up and looking nice.
Frankie, do you want to do some more promo for the YAP? Get them excited.
Yeah, download it. It's going to be a good place to have all of your resources in one place. Well, you can see all of the speakers who are going to be presenting over the next few weeks and their backgrounds, and if we have any resources for you, we can put them on there. So it's also a good place to have a little landing page and be able to meet and get to know all of your colleagues that can be really good resources for you throughout the duration of your grant.
Awesome. Thank you, Frankie and Patty. We love you. If you guys don't love them yet, you will very, very soon and shortly. Next up, our partnerships and marketing team.
Thank you, Kaya. Hello, team. For those of you who are new to OIC, welcome. My name is Shanique Banks, and I am Director of Partnerships for OICA. I'm joined by Naja Killebrew, Manager of Marketing and Communications. Together, we assist you in raising the visibility of the work you're doing locally, assist in deepening and acquiring relationships that help with meeting your programmatic goals, and finally, help you turn relationships into partnerships that lead to advisory boards. Program managers and employment specialists, please join us on December 1st at 12 p.m. for a working session on partnership acquisitions and marketing tricks and tips. You will walk away with practical steps that are ready to use straight away. I look forward to working with each of you, and I hope you will join us for our session. Thank you.
Next up, we have operations and strategy. We have Jason White on the line and Miss Diamond Henry.
Can everyone hear me? Okay. So I'm not as fun as I look on the screen, but my name is Jason White, Senior Director of Operations and Strategy, and one of my responsibilities is to serve as the director for the SOAR program. And you do not hear from me much because we have a great team. So just want to take the time here to thank the team for all their hard work, OIC of America team and the team at large in the field. We really appreciate all the work that you do. So thank you so much, and look forward to continuing to grow the program and continue to expand the work. All right. Diamond?
Thank you, Jason.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So you also, hi, I'm Diamond. You also probably won't hear from me as much either. I'm Jason's administrative assistant, but I'm also Shanique's administrative assistant, and I help regularly with the program team when necessary. So yeah, nice to meet you guys.
Lots of behind the scenes magic happening with these folks. So thank you guys for what you do. Next up, before we circle back around, we'll introduce our fiscal coordination team.
Hey team, how you doing? This is Rashid Ishan. So I'm the finance person. Linda is our controller. What we do is process the draw requests. So everyone, like Mr. Sharp raised that when he said he wants to get paid. So we make sure that you guys get paid. And besides the request, so audit, we do the budget, and we help our affiliate with the budget as well. Spend down plans, financial analysis, and financial modeling. And anything that has to do with finance or accounting, me and Linda will take care of it. And I'm proud to be part of the team. And what drives me is the fact that I'm witnessing the statements helping people help themselves as manifesting or happening in front of me with the effort of each one of you, especially my team at the national office. And I appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
Last but not least, until we circle back and try Shanique one more time, we have Gail Younger, our OIC Network Coordinator and Executive Assistant.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the conference. I'm so happy to see everyone here. I am Gail Younger. I work for out of the President's Office and Office Coordinator for OICA. And I've been with OIC, it will be 30 years next October.
Wow.
Yep.
Amazing, Gail.
And Kate and Kaya, you did an amazing job. I'm loving this. And I hope everyone else will enjoy it.
Thank you, Gail.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Gail.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
We hope so too. So that is our team here at OICA. It's about 10:19 now. We will see people back here at 1:30.